Imagine planting potatoes, waiting weeks for harvest day, and finally digging into the dirt, only to pull up blackened, soft mush. It is incredibly frustrating to put in all that effort and end up with a smelly, ruined crop. But those ruined harvests rarely have anything to do with bad luck. Most of the time, potato rot happens because of a specific sequence of hidden mistakes occurring below the surface. This checklist shows the 5 specific steps you can take to control that underground environment. By following this sequence, you ensure the plants produce firm, healthy tubers instead of rotting in the soil. Mastering this process means the difference between losing an entire crop and securing months of reliable food. Step 1 begins with the dirt itself. Potatoes grow entirely underground, and their biggest threat is excess moisture. When water pools around the roots, it pushes vital oxygen out of the soil. Planting in heavy, flat clay is a common early mistake. Clay traps water like a bowl, creating an oxygen-starved environment where rot-causing bacteria multiply. To fix this, loosen your soil and mix in compost to build structure. Forming the soil into raised beds or ridges will allow excess water to drain rapidly away from the root zone. Once the soil is prepared, you need healthy starting material. Using certified disease-free seed potatoes ensures you are not planting rot directly into the ground. If you cut large seed potatoes into smaller pieces, do not put them straight into the dirt. Planting a wet, freshly cut piece immediately invites soil bacteria inside the tuber. Instead, leave those cut pieces in a cool, dry place for 1 to 2 days before planting. This image shows a wet cut on the left compared to a proper callus on the right. That dry, leathery surface acts as a natural physical seal against microbes. By establishing rapid soil drainage and callusing your seed potatoes, you build an effective first line of defense before the plant even sprouts. A common misconception is that seed potatoes need to be buried as deeply as possible to protect them. Burying them deep actually traps moisture around those initial tubers, significantly increasing the likelihood of rot. This diagram shows the correct starting depth. Place the seed potatoes exactly 4 to 6 inches below the surface. As the green stem grows upward, you use a technique called hilling, gradually mounding loose soil around the base of the plant. Hilling keeps the developing tubers covered and safe from sunlight. At the same time, the angled shape of the mound sheds excess water outward, keeping it away from the core root zone. You also need to maintain wide spacing between each plant. Good airflow allows the soil surface to dry naturally between rainfalls. Strategic planting depth combined with consistent hilling manipulates the physical environment so the growing tubers stay dry, oxygenated, and disease-free. When it comes to watering, the rule is to provide a deep soaking and then allow the top layer of soil to dry out completely before watering again. Frequent shallow watering creates a permanently soggy topsoil layer. That constant dampness creates a perfect breeding ground for rot microbes. As harvest approaches, you must implement a strict 2-week water cutoff. Stopping all watering entirely 2 weeks before you plan to harvest forces the potato skins to toughen up while they are still in the ground. You will know it is time to start this countdown when the plant's foliage turns yellow and begins to die back. Leaving mature potatoes in wet soil is risky. Wait for a completely dry day to dig them out of the earth. Once they are out of the ground, immediately move them to a shaded, well-ventilated area for several hours to cure. This brief curing period allows the potatoes to heal small scratches from the harvest process, sealing the skin to prevent rot during long-term storage. Mastering the pre-harvest water cutoff and the post-harvest curing phase turns a vulnerable vegetable into a durable food supply. This brings you to the payoff, lifting dry soil to reveal clean, firm potatoes and tossing them into a harvest basket. Because you followed the curing protocol, these potatoes are now ready to sit in a pantry or root cellar for months without degrading. The process relies on these 5 steps: ensure proper drainage, callus the seed potatoes, hill the soil, enforce the water cutoff, and cure the harvest. Once you understand this architectural sequence, repeating it season after season is straightforward. Gardening problems are rarely solved by simply working harder. They are solved through a clear understanding of the environment you are building. If you found this process helpful, subscribe to the channel for more step-by-step guides.